Okay, so I'm going to tell you my funniest Joe Biden story. It's the only personal Joe Biden story that I've got. But over 30 years ago, I was living in Delaware, Joe Biden's home ground, and I was working for a church. I was an intern, and the pastor there did these crusades in the inner city, and he used Easter. And I don't know what you think about Easter and Ishtar, and I understand that, but that's not the conversation at the moment. But every year, for several years, he would have thousands of Easter egg hunts. It would draw huge crowds from the inner city and, bless the kids. But it was so that he could preach the gospel. So he, this year that I was there, scheduled 25,000 egg Easter egg hunt. So, I mean, we got 25, 30, 40,000 people out at this event. And, I was in charge of producing and packaging 10,000 bundles of candy. And each egg had a particular colored ribbon on the inside with a Bible verse, and you'd present, blue, red, green, orange at the different places where you would receive the different prizes. So 25,000 eggs, 25,000 prizes, amazing, and it just brought out huge numbers into this park where we had a sound system and a stage set up, and it was an amazing event. But it was all to preach the gospel. And this pastor of mine, I learned so much from him. He was a powerful man, still is. Seen more miracles face to face than anybody else I'd ever seen, I'd ever known. Blind eyes open, deaf ears opening. Powerful, powerful. But it was for the purpose of preaching the gospel. So we, you can't hide 25,000 eggs. I don't care how big a space you have. So the ground was just littered with color. And when these kids were released into these areas, I mean, they just gathered up all sorts, and lots of candy given out, and lots of prizes. So at the end of it, they gathered together in front of the stage to receive the main prizes. And there was 5 girls' bikes, 5 boys' bikes, all different ages. From the little tricycle, up to the 10-speed racer, which was big at the time. So all these things are going on, and as a church, we had people in costume. You had Ronald McDonald, you had Big Bird, you had several different other people. And when this man was preaching the gospel on the stage, guess who had to be there? Joe Biden. His constituents, his inner city folk, the people that were voting for him. He had to make an appearance. And so he shows up, and he's on the stage while my pastor's preaching the gospel, and he's preaching it hard. He's just giving it, all that, and evidently setting forth Jesus Christ and crucified among you. Powerful word of salvation before they gave out the prizes, to hold the people, hold the crowds. And so he's preaching, and to get people just simply to understand that Jesus Christ is Lord, and you had to accept Jesus Christ as Lord, confess Jesus as Lord. He says, and kids, Ronald McDonald says Jesus is Lord, and he puts the mic in Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald says, Ronald McDonald says Jesus is Lord, kids, and Big Bird says Jesus is Lord, and Big Bird says Jesus is Lord, kids. And he takes the mic, and he sticks it in the face of Joe Biden. Senator Joe Biden, and he says, and Senator Joe Biden says Jesus is Lord. And he froze. He went white. He just like, I'm not going to do that. That's not politics. And my pastor said, and Senator Joe Biden says Jesus is Lord. And he stuck his, the guy's white on the stage, just petrified of backlash, I'm sure. So if you ever see Joe Biden these days, tell him, Big Bird says Jesus is Lord. My brother, Joe Biden, I guess, was in the country where he was, and my brother's like running through the fields. Big Bird says Jesus is Lord. And I'm like, he wasn't even there, but he got the humor of it. So Joe Biden then stood up and, he gave a few words to his constituents, and but Jesus is Lord wasn't among them. Anyway, just a funny story to help your day. God bless you.